I'd like to call the January 25th, 2023 regular meeting of the Fenton Community High School District 100 Board to order. May I have a roll call, Mary?
Figueroa.
Here.
Haid. Kovac.
Present.
Lewis.
Here.
Redzinski.
Here.
Rago.
Here.
Ting Paul Pong.
Here. We have a quorum. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And James, please read our Fenton mission, beliefs, and Bison Way statements.
Yes. Our Fenton mission statement is to cultivate successful, passionate, empowered learners through rigor, relevance, and relationships. Our Fenton belief statement: successful, passionate, empowered learners thrive when we provide a safe, caring, welcoming environment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion unify our community. School and home collaborate as one. We champion innovative teaching and engaged learning with state-of-the-art facilities. We infuse social and emotional learning into academics and culture. We prepare students to fulfill their civic responsibility. We immerse students in authentic life experiences. The Bison Way. Students and adults at Fenton High School create a safe, caring, empathetic environment where we believe in each other, respect diversity, communicate openly, grow together, and hold each other to high expectations to become the leaders and innovators of the future.
Thank you, James. Mary, do we have any requests for public comments today?
None this evening.
Thank you. Let's head right into district informationals.
Fantastic. Our first one is 8th grade orientation. What a fantastic evening that day. It was very successful. The programs for the parents and students focused on learning, engagement, and student programming and student support. We had different breakout groups both here at the ARC, as well as classrooms, as well as the auditorium. We also had breakouts group for our Spanish and Polish speaking parents, because that is our community as well. After the presentation, students and parents attended the activities and electives fair. Activities fair included athletic and club activities, and the elective fair highlighted our elective classes like art, automotives, and CTE. We are currently expecting 346 freshmen next year. Next trip is, next slide, Jim, is the Disney trip. 40 music students represented Fenton at the Disney during winter break. What an awesome event for them. Next slide, Jim. The reason why I keep on saying next slide, because we prepared beautiful pictures for our audience as well as the board. You can just see that they're having fun there in sunny Florida. The trip provided an educational experience for the students via the ever-popular Disney Sing Workshop and You Are the Instrumental workshops. Basically, they sang and also showed off their talent with their instruments. Students at their downtime also visited the Epcot Center, MGM Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Magic Kingdom. State-bound Olympics basketball, very exciting. They have a game this evening as well. Our Special Olympics basketball team played in the qualifying tournament on January 15th and earned a spot in the state finals tournament in March. Go Bison. They won 47-14 over Glenbard North, and they upset the undefeated Glenbard South Raiders 31-22 to qualify for the state. We continue to celebrate it. It was truly a celebration of Bison pride. You can see through this pictures, not only did we have our band out, we had our students coming out, we had our cheer coming out there, so it was really a great time for our students, our fans, during that evening. Next up is our AP Term Art Show. So basically, our APR students had a couple days here to show up their artwork in the Commons and in the ARC. State testing. It's state testing's time, which basically means our students will be tested on some of the standards that the state require. First one is in February. It's Access as English Language Learners for EL students to test their proficiency in English, which is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Next one is Advanced Placement, or our famous AP. As you know, may not know, Mr. Kovac, in 2019, we were AP School District of the Year of all of the United States. This, for the AP test, that includes our 10th through 12th grade students. Next one is the Illinois Science Assessment. That will take place in April. All juniors are required to take that test. Also SAT, which is basically stands for Student Achievement Testing. It's a college entrance exam. It's also the state measures how our students are doing with those standards. That will also take place in April for our juniors. And lastly, Seal of Biliteracy, which is also in April. Basically, students can take this test to show their their fluency on being bilingual or biliterate, sometimes trilingual and triliterate. Many of our students can both get their certification in Russian, German, Spanish, or Polish. Water mitigation project update, very, very excited. This month, the focus was communication. Communication to whom? Number one, our staff, our parents, and our students. Number two, our taxing bodies. This is the village, fire department, police department, park district, and library. We have put out also a written announcement and communication throughout our community. And later on this month, we're going to have a newsletter which touches all the homes and companies in Bensonville and Wooddale. So we're very excited. We want this to be public. We want people to ask us questions. We want people's input, not only our students or staff, but community members as well. Next slide is Fenton Foundation. As you guys know, we're very excited because we completed one of our strategic plan goals, which is to form a Fenton Foundation. Thank you, President Ting Paul Pong, for spearheading that. As you know, Kit is our president. VP is Leo Figueroa, and our
Juliet.
no VP for the foundation. It's Leo Figueroa, and our treasurer is Bruce Martin. We are ready to go. I'm also very proud to announce that we received our first donation of $20,000, and behind the scene, I think it's important for the board to know, as well as the audience, there's a lot of work behind the scenes outside of Bruce, Leo, and Kit, Michelle Papanicolaou, myself, Rick, are working behind the scenes to get these donations to make sure we have all the paperwork in, we have the bylaws and all of that in. So without further ado, I'm going to give the mic to Rick to talk about our first donation. Rick?
Yep. So this is a really meaningful story, and it's a great way to start off this new endeavor that we have with the foundation. So this young man that you see up here, his name is Pat Curran, and Pat Curran graduated from Fenton in 1958 after being involved in football, wrestling, and theater. Upon graduating from college, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and became a naval flight aviator. Pat was deployed to Vietnam in June of 1969. He was assigned to do a reconnaissance flight on September 29th, 1969, when his tower lost radio contact at 8:50 p.m. Search and rescue efforts were unsuccessful, and Pat was eventually declared missing in action. It wasn't until June of 1996 when his crash site in the neighboring country of Laos was identified. The area was excavated in August of '96, but his remains were not returned to the United States until 2002. Pat Curran is now resting in Arlington National Cemetery. Those details I just gave you are directly off of that memorial monument that is mounted on our wall outside of the front gym. Pat Curran's story is known far and wide. His mysterious disappearance was mourned by the entire community, which is why they came together to make this memorial. Viewing of this memorial is actually very popular among the alumni from the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s. A lot of them purposely request it, and as you see, they take pictures of it. One of the recent attendees had reached out to Pat's brother, Bill, and shared her excitement over seeing that the memorial is still here and that we are still honoring their classmate. Pat's brother, Bill, now lives in Barrington, and he is quite generous in donating his time and money to things that are important to him. And upon hearing from his former classmate about this, he expressed interest in starting a scholarship fund to honor his brother, Pat. So we were able to make contact, and we worked together to explore this idea. This scholarship is now being made possible thanks to the swift action by Kit, Leo, Bruce, and James by getting all the paperwork done so that he can get a tax-exempt donation in. And as Mr. Ontango just said, the first donation of $20,000 has been received, and he plans to make additional donations in the coming years, as well as other activities that we plan to do to keep the fund going. Right now, we're currently working with him on the eligibility criteria for the students who are going to apply. His wish is to aid students who have parents or siblings that currently serve in the armed services, parents and siblings who previously served in the armed services, or parents or siblings who were lost in action while serving our country. He's very pleased with this joint venture so far, and he plans to present the first few scholarship awards. When that time comes, we do plan to extend that segment of the Senior Awards Night so that we can acknowledge his generosity and his role in getting this foundation up and running as the first official donor and the first official fund inside the Fenton Foundation. So that's the power of relationships, because it was someone who's not from the family that decided to reach out to him, and the ball just got rolling.
Thank you, Rick. We're very excited for that, and once again, we'll have a little celebration when he's in the building. Next up is our favorite, FOIA. We received 2 this month, one from Smart Procurement. Just real quickly, Smart Procurement, we usually receive 4 a year. Smart Procurement is a company. It's a purchase requesting company, which they request from all taxing bodies, both federal, local, and local. This request has been resolved. Thank you, Mrs. Timmons. Next one is Local Labs in regards to our Board of Education. Local Labs is a company that collects public records for their clients, usually news outlets. They requested information regarding our elected board members, including their names, as well as if they were elected or appointed. That has also been resolved. Just to mind you, all school district received that Local Lab FOIA. And lastly, after a year, our 2 new buses have arrived. We're very excited because we need them. I know Bruce is very excited about that, and I'm sure our students will enjoy it. That's it for me, for informational.
They look like school buses. Good. Very good. Okay, so thank you, James. So next we go to the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments regarding our current consent agenda as presented? Going through the financial reports, treasury reports, budget summary.
No.
Minutes, personnel report. Okay, we're good then? We'll move forward with a motion. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion.
Thank you, Ken. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Leo. And make it a roll call, please.
Rego? Yes. Figueroa?
Yes.
Kovac?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Redzinski?
Yes.
Ting Popong?
Yes, and motion passed. We'll go right into the discussion and action items, starting with the resolution authorizing preparation and publication of the tentative budget for fiscal year 2023 and 2024. Any questions, discussions on that? Okay. Then may I have a motion that the Board of Education adopt a resolution authorizing preparation and publication of the tentative budget for fiscal year 2023 and 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Juliet. Second would be Kent. And may I have a roll call, please?
Rego? Yes. Kovac?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Redzinski?
Yes.
Figueroa?
Yes.
Ting Popong?
Yes, and also motion passed. The next item is the financial audit firm agreement. Questions, comments? Or Bruce?
Sure, just a few quick comments. Our financial audit is required every year by public bodies, including school districts. We did go out in 2020 for RFP with auditing services at that time. Just to get a little bit of history, I know not everybody was here at that time. So we did, at that time, in March of 2020, we received 6 proposals. We interviewed 3 firms. The committee was unanimous. We did have a audit committee to kind of go through the process. They were unanimous in selecting the firm of Lauterbach and Amen, who's our current auditors. The firm's experience in similar size as Fenton that included successfully completing and preparing the comprehensive financial audits and corresponding state and federal reports for many districts in Illinois of similar size and scope was attractive. And then, in addition, their proposed fee schedule would happen to be the lowest of the three firms as well. So, as a result of that, it was recommended and the board did approve a 3-year agreement at that time in January of 2020, or 2021, I think that was. They've proven to be a solid working partner. They've met all the timelines with submitting and fulfilling the audit requirements. And they've been responsive and timely when we've had questions. Even throughout the year, if we have something that pop up, they're happy to answer and very timely in their responses for that. So we asked for them to, if they would be interested in submitting another proposal for 3 years. They were happy to do that. I think they enjoy working here as well, a supportive board, and I think we've done well accommodating them. So they did submit a new proposal that covers fiscal years 23, 24, and 25. And the fees are similar. They've gone up a little bit, but they average about 3% each of those years, which is pretty comparable to last time. Incidentally, their highest price in the final year of the audit is still under what our audit firm was charging before we made the switch. So we're still kind of under, 4 years ago, what we were paying. So we're happy to hear that. But we are recommending entering into a 3-year agreement with them, beginning with this would be the first fiscal year, the 22-23 fiscal year would be the first one that they would audit. So that is our recommendation. I've included the full proposal for your review as well.
We went through that this year with the report and all that. So it's the price is adjusted with inflation, 3% every year. Quality's the same, if not better. Relationships better.
So it's
Consistency, yeah.
no changes or updates from the previous agreement?
No, other than the pricing, no. Other than audit requirements that are new, obviously, but yeah, but the standard services are still intact and consistent with what they were before.
Just for the record, could you state the firm's name real quick?
Lauterbach and Amen, and they're out of Naperville.
They're a good firm. I dealt with them in my past life. They're probably the up-and-comers, and they're always reasonable in pricing, and we've had good luck with them the last couple of years.
Yeah, we have. So,
And we're still saving money from our original firm. That's a plus.
Then, if nothing else, we'll move forward with the motion. I may have a motion that the Board of Education accept the 3-year pricing proposal from Lauterbach and Amen LLP to complete the financial audit for fiscal years ending June 30th, 2023 through June 30th, 2025, with reservation to review and extend or terminate annually.
So moved.
Second.
Carrie and John, roll call, please, Mary.
Rego?
Yes.
Kovac?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Redzinski?
Yes.
Figueroa?
Yes.
Tinkpo Pong?
Yes, motion passed. This one is a resolution to transfer funds. This will be discussion only, to be voted on in February. And
sure. Thank you. This resolution was driven by the work that was approved by the board last month for our water mitigation. It's a $10 million project that to be funded with cash reserves from the district's reserves. So, but in order to make that happen, a resolution has to occur that would transfer money from the educational fund that has bigger fund balances than the other funds, and that would move into the operations and maintenance fund and ultimately into the capital projects funds, where projects such as this would need to be paid for and accounted for in that particular fund. So this is just kind of an informational item, but it would be published in the paper, a public hearing notifying the public before the resolution would be acted on by the board. That will go in the paper this week, a public hearing notice, letting them know what we're doing with this resolution and the amount of it. And then at the February board meeting, we would present to the board the actual resolution, hold the public hearing, present the resolution, act on the resolution, and if all goes well, the resolution will get passed, and then we'll make that transaction happen within the funds, in the district funds.
How does the timing of the hearing and things fit with the prior schedule or desired schedule presented to us where they would start work after the school year? Does this timing still allow things to start up by?
It does, and a great question. You know, we've already begun some work already. We've had some smaller bills come in that we, have adequate funds to budgets to pay for that. But the bigger work we would expect and anticipate it to happen this summer. That's when more of your contracts would be awarded, construction manager fees would be coming in, architect fees, that type of thing. So we anticipate more of the higher end expenses coming, this summer, and funds would be in place prior to that.
So we had a finance meeting earlier today, and so we have a pretty good idea of what's going on. But I think for the general public to know, this is a project that's necessary, number one, and it's kind of an extension of what we're hoping to start with referendum. This will be just a very small portion of it, the most emergency need, which is the water mitigation. And as far as spending goes, when we do transfer these funds, it is going to be assigned only for the purpose of improvement.
Right, this project.
Yeah,
yes.
this project.
Yes.
So it's very clear. I want the public to know that it's assigned very specifically for that. It's also publicly noted, so that's all transparent. The timeline of this is, again, go ahead.
Yeah, we would like to start as soon as possible. Like Mr. Martin said, some of the work has started already. We'd like to break ground this June and finish the project by January next year.
Okay.
So it's approximately 8 to 9 months worth of project.
And the level of disruption as far as the staff and the student population and our workforce, we've looked into making sure that, within reason, just communication and preparation for that.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Ting-Pao-Pong. And just what I'd like to also reiterate, in addition to our letters to our parents and students and community, that no student programming, whether it's academics or extracurricular, including sports, will halt. That means it's a normal programming for next year, even though we have this water mitigation project. For example, football practices, we have secured areas for them, as well as soccer, as well as band and other activities. We have communicated with District 2, as well as the Bensenville Park District. We want to make sure that none of our students are hindered by this project, so the programming, student program will continue. In regards to home games, particularly for our football team, we will secure a stadium for our home games. Right now, there are 5 home games for football where we will secure. We're very confident, having great relationship with other high school district in DuPage to secure that for our students.
And so you're anticipating just one season, and then the following season they'll be back on their home turf?
Yes, well said.
And then actually it'll be an improvement, because now not only will football be able to play at home, soccer will be able to play at home, our track meets will be on a better facility, and best of all, we'll stop damaging our building and start to be able to correct things that all this flooding has caused over the last 20, 30 years. So I think this is a win-win.
Yeah. And this was part of the $10 million that we already committed as a district to prior referendum attempt, and also now we're just following through with it. So
And we can't put this off. If we don't stop it, it's just going to get worse. It's going to cause more damage, and it'll be more expensive next year and the next year. So it's a project that needs to be done.
Any other comments before we vote? Or, I'm sorry, we don't vote. We vote next month, so there's time. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Next is our typical 2023-2024 school calendar. Do we have somebody to speak to that? Or
I can, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Last board meeting in December, this was presented to you thoroughly. We've also received feedback from we also asked for feedback from our staff, our unions, our feeder schools. We would like to recommend this school calendar for 2023-2024. We feel it's been vetted out, and we feel that it's a solid and fair calendar, and we have to let our parents know as soon as possible so they could plan accordingly, whether it's vacations or trips for the summer.
And I think you mentioned it's coordinated with the feeders.
Yep, feeder schools, both Bensonville 2 and Wooddale.
Questions, guys? Comments? Okay. Let's go ahead and vote on it. May I have a motion to... for
Can
Board
I
of
just interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Are you saying coordinated as far as like holidays, not necessarily start time, but at least holiday time, correct?
We're fortunate this year that we are going to all start at the same time. Holidays, for example, Martin Luther King, President's Day, Labor Day, as well as winter break and spring break.
Okay, very good. All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kate. Sorry.
No, good question.
Yep.
Any other stuff? Just a thought came to mind as far as how the water mitigation might impact this as well. Is there any noted items here that we should make light of, or?
In regards to the calendar, it will not affect both academic as well as extracurricular. Most of the work are outside. If we look at academic, I believe, is safe from this project.
So it won't impact inside school? Inside,
that's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Good question.
All right, then may I have a motion for the Board of Education to approve the 2020?
Kit?
One other question.
Sure,
Will
yeah.
will the airmen be running next fall?
Which, the what?
I can never say the word correctly. The Kermez?
Kermesse, yes. Yep.
Kermesse?
Yes.
Will that be happening next fall?
Yes, sir.
Well,
There'll be not just next, it will happen this spring as well, May
Right,
6th.
right.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this spring. I'm already hungry for it, but for next fall, this stuff is going to be under construction where we had that. Is there a plan to have that in a different location?
Yes,
or
sir.
just around that?
Yes, sir. We have another plan. It will be in front of the building.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you.
Can I just ask one other question regarding the water mitigation, just before we approve this? It's somewhat, how about PE, just out of curiosity? How will that be affected by, or will it be affected by this, as far as gym teachers utilizing outside? Will they just not do it? Will they just do things inside? Or have you discussed that with them?
That's a great question. Indoor PE will not be affected, as stated. We also have parking lots. We have our tennis courts. It's not going to be utilized. And we also have District 2 in the Park District that could accommodate our needs if needed for PE. Whether, let's say, for example, there's a softball section of the PE curriculum or a walking exercise there. We have communicated both with District 2 and the Park District to assist us.
Okay. All right. I know that we got off of that subject, but it popped in.
No, great question.
Okay.
We'll get another chance next month, too.
Okay.
Okay, so then may I have a motion that the Board of Education approve the 2023-2024 school calendar as presented?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
And Mr. Kovac, can I get a roll call, please, Mary?
Rego,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Redzinski,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Tingpo Pong.
Yes, motion passed. And we go to community reports next. starting with the BCF.
I'm so sorry. I rudely just put a cookie in my mouth. I have a meeting tomorrow, so
Okay.
nothing to report.
If the BI committee has nothing to report, the Finance Facilities Committee, we kind of went through it. Anything to add, gentlemen?
We covered it in an earlier meeting, and this meeting, we're on a
Okay.
good course, have a
Okay.
plan.
Perfect. Policy Committee, we had that after the, this evening, and we went through some policies, so we'll look at that next month. ISB delegate, that's me. February 1st is going to be our ISB meeting. February 1st? Second? First, I think. Wednesday.
First Wednesday.
Yeah. And then COSBA, we've got the national coming up here end of March. So that'll be good for the board to get some more training and development. I think that's about it. Len?
Land has a meeting this Friday via Zoom at 8 in the morning. I will be attending.
Thank you, James. And NetSec.
We don't have a meeting until next month.
Okay, all right, so it'll be a good report next month. So that concludes the committee reports. Next board meeting and new business on Wednesday, that's February 22nd, 2023 at 7, with tentative board finance facilities committee meeting scheduled prior to that regular meeting at 6. We will be going into closed session now. I just want to let the attendees know, thank you so much for coming in and being engaged with us. So then we'll go to closed session. We'll need privacy on that. Let's see. I may have a motion and a second to go into closed session for the purpose of the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing. And I'm sorry. And we won't have new business either, just so you know. The public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. However, a meeting to consider an increase in compensation to a specific employee of the public body that is subject to the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act may not be closed and shall be open to the public and posted and held in accordance with this act. 5 Illinois CS 122C1. Also, the purpose of the collective negotiation matters between the public body and its employees of their representatives or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees according to 5 Illinois CS 122C2. Please make a motion.
So moved. Second.
And a second. Thank you, guys. Carrie and Kent. And
Rego?
Yes.
Radzinski?
Yes.
Figueroa?
Yes.
Kovac?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Tinkle Pongs?
yes. Yeah, we'll go into closed session.
Break.
You want to break or you want to push through?
Radzinski,
Reluctantly, yes.
Tingpo Pong,
Yes, why reluctantly? Yes.
It's not 10 o'clock yet. I'm losing the over-under.
So we are into open session now. And
Motion to adjourn.
we have no further business tonight, so I'm sure everybody wants to get home. So can I get a,
Motion to adjourn?
yes? That would be Kent, and who's the second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's reluctantly.
No.
Okay.
Rego,
Yes.
Kovac,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Figueroa, Tingpo Pong.
Yes, and meeting adjourned. Happy New Year to the district, and Happy Lunar New Year for those that celebrate.